Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. We got a lot to cover today. One of the things I was going to talk about later in the group is the XRP. There's a lot of talk about XRP supply shock. I'm going to talk about some ways that could happen, but got a lot of stuff, so we'll get going. It's daixrp.com is the Patreon. If you want to click join below any of my YouTube videos, you can join through YouTube. You can also subscribe through the X platform. This right here, to me, is the biggest problem in all of crypto. Many of you may not know, but a long time ago, the information of a lot of the customers at Coinbase were hacked. And when that happened, they got email addresses, phone numbers, and I think that might be it, but I don't know if they got anything else. They may have got names, email addresses, and phone numbers. And ever since then, you and I have been receiving either texts. Recently, we've been receiving phone calls and all kinds of things. And the problem, I won't single out Coinbase, but this happens with all these exchanges. The problem is all these guys want you to do is they want you to click on a link, or they want you to call a phone number. And when you call the phone number, it's going to be one of these hackers, and they're trying to get information. But all they really need you to do is click on a link. Once you click on that link, they're able to log into your account, and then they're able to siphon off your XRP or whatever crypto it is you have. They're able to send that to wherever they want to send it, and that's how people get their crypto stolen. Billions of dollars have been stolen. I'm sick and tired of that. I want you to listen to this. I played the whole thing earlier another day, but this is what iTrustCapital has created. What is a closed loop system. So what they've done is they've taken out these hackers' ability to transfer crypto back out. Watch this.
I'll show you what makes premium custody different.
By using a closed loop system, which allows US dollars and crypto in and only US dollars out,
this ensures your crypto stays secure from hacks, scams, and other risks. Your assets are held off balance sheet, which means they are never leveraged or mixed with business operations. Buy and sell digital assets directly from your desktop and mobile app.
I think you get the point. And the other thing is you're getting the institutional custody for free. Whatever you do, don't pay for institutional custody. iTrustCapital uses 3 institutional custodians. They use Fidelity, Coinbase Prime, which is Coinbase's institutional custody. Not the same. It's not what you get when you put your stuff at Coinbase. They use Fidelity Fidelity, their institutional custody, Coinbase Prime, and then Fireblocks. They use those 3, and so that's why I partnered with these guys. I've had an account with these guys since 2018-19. I know the founders. I know the CEO. It's not a coincidence their name's iTrustCapital. My experience in crypto is it takes years to develop that trust, and these guys have put in the time, and they started as just a tiny company. Now they're the biggest crypto IRA company in the world, and they just opened the premium custody account so that you can send your crypto, your XRP or whatever, into a regular account, and it's game changing. So go to itrustcapital.com/XRP Army. They created this special page. If you want to go, you can open a premium custody account or an IRA account, or both. I have both. Moving along, we've got a 218 XRP. Everything, the market's kind of flat right now. I wanted to show you this because the head of digital assets at BlackRock, he was formerly at Ripple. He rarely says it. He also is the one that did the valuation on XRP. Ironically, right after he did the valuation is when he left to go work with BlackRock. But the way that he talks, they act like Bitcoin, just like everybody, Bitcoin. But this guy, I've seen him in interviews, and he said several times that BlackRock has been focused on enterprise, the crypto industry, the enterprise side of it. Well, who was there before anyone in the enterprise side of crypto? Ripple, where Robbie Mitchell was. So if you think this guy, and I've said this many times, if you think this guy just left Ripple and didn't realize XRP was created to be a better Bitcoin and solve all its problems, you got to think again, folks.
What are you most excited about when it comes to crypto as you look forward?
Yeah, well, I think clearly there's been a really significant resonance in the market around being able to access Bitcoin in a convenient, efficient, turnkey way. I don't think that necessarily extends to a very long tail of other assets, but you continue to see new opportunities for us to provide access solutions. You saw that obviously with Ethereum and with our ETP, and we'll see as the industry matures what other assets and what other structural opportunities are out there.
Speaking of that, do you think there's going to be a lot of innovation when it comes to putting crypto in the ETF wrapper?
Well, I think there will be some, but I don't think all of it will necessarily be just extending to the next and next token. I think obviously there's a pretty steep drop off in terms of size and maturity after Bitcoin to ETH, and then from ETH to the next. So I think you may.
There's not really a steep drop off at all, and this guy knows it. XRP's going to pass ETH.
See more
he knows that too.
Innovations around.
They might pass ETH because of BlackRock.
Structuring and other flavors of these things, as opposed to just an extension down the line of more of these single token products.
Now, then I found this. This is a rare mention where he actually tells you that he was at Ripple prior to BlackRock. It's so obvious what's going on here. It reminds me of when Larry Fink, Gasparino asked Larry Fink if they were going to do an XRP ETF. He said, I can't talk about that. Well, why couldn't you? If you weren't going to do one, it'd be easy to talk about.
Yeah, sure. Well, it has been an interesting journey. I'm from Toronto, as you alluded to, did undergrad up there at Queen's. And when I started my career, which was also in Toronto, I was at CPP Investment Board doing initially public markets and then private credit. And it was only when I went to business school, I did business school down in the U.S.
He did business school at Stanford, where Susan Athey on Ripple's board was a professor. And that's who he did the XRP valuation with.
That I ended up working for a company called Ripple, which this is the summer of 2017. And that turned out to be a pretty fortuitous time to be entering the space. It was what we now call the third crypto cycle, the third bull market, where crypto's now had 5 boom and bust cycles. And that sort of launched my pivot into this digital assets arena, because obviously the technology and opportunity was too exciting.
So Ripple and Stanford launched his pivot into this industry.
To pass up as a go-forward opportunity path. And BlackRock at that time was just beginning to explore the space. And so I came in and was the first full-time employee in the whole blockchain digital assets domain. And early days was a lot more focused on kind of operational potential applications of blockchain. And then as the years have gone by, we get into sort of what propelled that transformation. We've started to become a significant player, obviously, within crypto itself.
And I'd like to point out, and this is true, I've spent 7 years covering Ripple and XRP. And if I've learned anything, most people don't just leave Ripple, they are deployed to other companies. Words mean things, and the word is deployed. Okay, this is the CEO Vlad Tenev of Robinhood.
When you think though about sort of the next stage of all the crypto stuff, where do where do you see you playing in this versus the Coinbases of the world? I'm just sort of curious how you think about yourself versus crypto. Do you think long term it's going to be exchanges like yours, or it's going to be these sort of crypto-only exchanges where most of the crypto action takes place?
I do think that crypto itself, there's two ways to look at it. One is a tradable asset like options, futures, and equities. The other is as a fundamental underlying technology.
Right.
And in the second lens, it's the next stage in evolution. We've gone from, paper and pencil, filing cabinet-based financial services to mainframe to on-premise, and then more recently cloud. Now crypto is the next stage in that, where a lot of the business logic that we've required businesses to actually build is now shared infrastructure. So exchanges, lending pools, payment processors, all these things are replaced by software. So I think in the future, crypto technology will power trading and all sorts of financial services, including trading in stocks and other TradFi assets. So the two will fully merge. And I think Robinhood will play a big role in that, because we're actually one of the few, maybe the only, that has a very high scale crypto business and a high scale traditional financial services business.
Okay, and then, so that's Robinhood. Keep this in mind. Interesting fact, this from Fed, interesting fact, Bitstamp has the following stablecoins already issued on the XRP ledger: USD, Euro, JPY, GBP, AUD, CHF. I don't know what CHF is, but anyway, Robinhood now also has the tech infrastructure to list XRPL issued tokens, and Robinhood bought Bitstamp. Remember that, folks. And then we've got the Visa CEO coming in on stablecoins.
We've been embracing and building for years, preparing for this moment. The Genius Act has now passed the Senate, as you know, and is expected to pass the House. I think that'll give regulatory clarity to stablecoins. And we've been embracing stablecoins. We've been enabling people to issue Visa credentials on top of stablecoins. We've been modernizing our own settlement infrastructure with stablecoins. And we have a whole host of innovations that we plan to deploy around the world embracing stablecoins.
Do you believe then stablecoins are going to be a significant way that people transact in the future?
Hey, David, we think there's product market fit for stablecoins in three areas. The first is the capital markets use case, and you've seen that with crypto trading, and that's true globally, here in the US and around the world. But the product market fit that's most interesting going forward is outside the US. And there's two areas. The first is countries where you've got high currency volatility or currency controls, where people really...
Wait, who's been working outside the US for all this time?
They want to have access to US dollars, and they either can't get US dollars or it's very expensive to do that. Stable coins provide an opportunity for people in those countries, maybe there's 30, 40, 50 of those countries around the world, to have easy, cost-efficient access to US dollars. And we'll plan to give them Visa credentials on top of those stable coins that they can spend in merchants around their country or other places.
Okay, we'll go on from that. Senator Loomis has introduced a new bill for crypto. Let's see a little bit of this.
Joins us with more on that. Emily, good morning.
Good morning, Becky. Yeah, well, CNBC got an exclusive first look at what could be the biggest crypto bill of the year coming out of D.C. Banking Chairman Tim Scott, along with Senator Cynthia Lummis, introduced a framework today for a piece of legislation that would really provide the rules of the road for crypto and other digital assets. Now, this framework includes things like a definition of digital assets, when they would be regulated as a security versus as a commodity. The framework for the bill commits to reducing regulation, and it...
Okay, you get the picture. The legislation's coming, and then we've got this, the Genius Act. It's officially been received by the House, and the House is supposed to be a much easier climb than the Senate was, and then of course the president signing it is going to be even easier than that. Morgan Stanley's expecting the Fed to deliver 7 rate cuts in 2026, starting in March, bringing the terminal rate down to 2.5% to 2.75%. It'll be on like Donkey Kong if that happens, folks. I'm not going to play this video. This is well, funny or scary, whatever you want to call it. But they're basically saying that Trump is aware that aliens do exist. And I retweeted it and I said, it sounds like we're going to need an intergalactic currency. Maybe we'll get an alien XRP ETF. Now, I'm having flashbacks to, was it 2020, 2021-ish? Crypto, I mean, when crypto was booming and DeFi was booming, before Gary Gensler came in and crushed everything. And I started to see back then the ramp up of crypto advertising, and it reminded me just of the .com boom. This time, I think we're going to get it for real. So the NBA team, San Antonio Spurs, signed a multi-year jersey deal with French crypto firm Ledger. You're going to start to see this more and more and more and more and more. And I think once we have regulations, that's when you're going to start seeing all the Super Bowl ads, the whole thing. This year's Super Bowl will probably be the crypto Super Bowl, finally. Okay, we'll go on into the group. Go to DAIXRP.com for the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below this, or you can subscribe through the X platform. We're going to talk, I got a few more things, but also we're going to talk XRP supply shock. How could that happen? I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Away we go.